because I literally was just in classes January through April, just graduated in May, took my NCLEX in June, became a nurse, started working in July. Like, it's been touch and go. Like, that is so crazy to me. We have made it to day 9 of Vlogmas. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, please, and turn on your post notifications. This video is going to be a mix of 6 months as a new grad nurse update, and then talking about what I do as a mother baby nurse. I did put a poll on Instagram, and it was like a good balance between which one y'all wanted, but I wanted to do a video on what I do as a mother baby nurse, but I'm gonna still try to give y'all a little bit of what y'all want. And I also have this big old gingerbread man, shout out Target. And then I have this to decorate it. And then I have this super cute ugly sweater chocolate decorating kit. So we're gonna start with one of these while I'm talking to y'all about all the things. Okay, so I got the gingerbread man on top of this thing so y'all can see. But anyways, I was on TikTok. This was a while ago, but I had seen somebody on there, I guess it was a nursing student, and she had her clinical in mother baby. And she basically said, like, it was so boring. Like, they don't really do anything. Like, I feel like it wasn't a good experience. It smells really good. And I was like, bruh. But it's crazy because that's literally what I was thinking whenever I had my mother baby clinical. I'm like, bro, like, this was so, like, mediocre. But that compelled me to make a list of all of the things that we do as mother baby nurses. That's kind of what I'm gonna talk about. But first I'll do the 6-month update thing. So I officially made being 6 months a nurse December 3rd or 4th. And today is December the 18th. I have my laptop right here, so December the 18th. So it's been over 6 months, and it's been a little less than 6 months since I've been on the job. But anyways, I am still really liking my job. These are all of the candies in here. And then they have red, green, and white. Hello. But anyways, I am still really liking my job as a mother baby nurse. And since I've been on my own for 3 months now, I can confidently say that I go in, oh my gosh, go on. I go in, do what I'm supposed to do, and get out. But like, I do it in a way to where I'm really confident. Like, I'm teaching my moms and dads, like, about their baby, mommy about herself, like, especially if it's her first baby. She hasn't went through this experience before, so like what life is like postpartum wise. I don't know, I'm more confident. I'm really getting my time management down to where like I can have newborn screens kind of back to back, and I'm still knocking them out within an hour of when they're actually due. So like, yes, they may be a little late, but they're not like crazy late. That is that. When my preceptor is there, she's not my preceptor no more, but that's still like what I know her as. When she is there, I'm like literally like telling her like all the stuff I'm doing, because sometimes she'll be charging, but I'm like telling her like how I'm doing things kind of. Or I'll ask her for help on certain things that I think that she can help me on or whatever. And it's just so nice to be like confident enough to still be able to know what I'm doing and ask for help. I'm loving the pay aspect of being a nurse, and loving the scheduling, because we make our own schedules, and then it's like balanced based on like what the shift, or not the shift, what the schedule needs, like, because it's been super busy, so they've needed more nurses. But anyways, she asks us like who wants to move from this day to this day before the schedule is officially posted. And if it's like weekends or something, they do a drawing. But like I'm liking that part. Like my nurse grade sometimes looks a little crazy, but I can do it to where I'm working 2 days on, 2 days off, that kind of thing. And I really love that. So I don't know how the heck I wanna do this freaking, let's do the eyes first. Just put some icing in there. And let's do, what's these babies? But yeah, I can't say enough great things. I really love the people that I work with because they are phenomenal. And everyone is always so helpful. And I'm like, I never feel like I'm on my own, but like, I never feel like, oh my gosh, I can't ask nobody for help. Everybody's so busy, and they are busy, but they're still able to kind of like make time for you and help you a little bit. Yeah, see, I got my eyes and stuff. So yeah, that's that. I don't really know what else to say about being a nurse for 6 months. It still feels surreal because I literally was just in classes January through April, just graduated in May, took my NCLEX in June, became a nurse, started working in July. Like, it's been touch and go. Like, that is so crazy to me because like, what the heck? I don't know. It's insane. But super excited to be here. I'm like just doing stuff. But anyways, that's that. I don't really know what else to say. But as I talk about the things that I do as a mother baby nurse, maybe that'll kind of be a little more interesting. Okay, so I wrote a list down of all the things that I do as a mother baby nurse that I could think of off the top of my head. And I think, hopefully I don't miss nothing, but okay. So first things first, and this is random, no particular order, but for the girlies or nursing students who want to be a mother baby nurse, but are like, they don't really do anything, I don't really like that, let me spill the tea for you. We have baby labs and newborn screens. So baby labs can be a part of the newborn screen, or it can be because a baby was DAT positive and they need 12-hour labs, which I'll talk about that separately. But newborn screen, so we do a metabolic screen, which is the 5 circles, and then we test for their bilirubin levels to make sure they're not jaundiced, and then we are testing their oxygen levels to make sure that they are well oxygenated. We do it in the right foot and the right hand. They cannot be greater than, they can't be greater than 3 apart. So newborn screen, so we do that. And usually I can do that in the room. If the baby needs a bath, I'll do it in the newborn nursery and do it all together. But it just depends on what the heck else I have going on that night. Usually I only have to poke 1 time. But if baby isn't a good bleeder, which we put heel warmers and stuff on them and I elevate the bed and all that. But if they're not a good bleeder, you have to poke twice because I do the metabolic screen first and then I move on to the bilirubin tube. Moving on because that's enough for about newborn labs. Next thing, postpartum hemorrhage moms. So before they even come over from L&D, like L&D, if they're a postpartum hemorrhage, usually they're in L&D a little longer, especially if they had to get meds. But when they come over to us, we have to keep a close eye on them and making sure that their fundus is super firm, which is their uterus, and making sure they're not excessively bleeding, which usually L&D has fixed them before they get to us, but we still are kind of like responsible for that and just making sure, oh my gosh, this stuff is not coming out how it's supposed to. for our babies who are less than 37 weeks, so they're considered preemies, or their moms are diabetic, or they were gestational, we have to check their sugars. So whenever they're first born and they eat, L&D does a post sugar. So it has to be 45 or above. And then we do 2 pre. So 1 pre-feed before they eat. It has to be at least 45. They eat. I check it again in 2 hours. And if that one is good, that means they've done 2 pre-feeds and 2 pre-feed sugar checks. Then they're done. That's it. But and also if they're small for gestational age and if they're less than 2,500 grams, which I don't know how much that is in pounds. But anyways, we have to do that, which on the board, it tells us like when the moms are laboring and if the babies are like what their gestation is or whatever. So we kind of know, especially when we're getting assigned to them. But sometimes it's like, dang, like I'm kind of, I got a lot going on already and now I gotta go do sugars. But it's not too bad. I just feel bad like poking them and stuff. But sugar babies, and like I just said, SGA babies, which is small for gestational age. LGA babies, if they're large for gestational age, they have to get sugar checks. And then, yeah. Also, if these babies are preterm, they have to get a car seat study done. I've legit done so many car seat studies now, like back to back, like crazy. So if they're under 2,500 grams, they have to get a car seat study done, which is a 90-minute test. They're hooked up to electrodes and a pulse ox, and we're making sure that their heart rate doesn't drop and that their O2 sats stay above 88% is our policy. And usually they've eaten really well before I get them, so they're like knocked out for the test. But it's usually it. And if they're crying, like it's towards the end and I'm like, okay, we just got 15 minutes left, because I have to check every 15 minutes, like documenting it. So that I usually do after midnight, and I just do all of my charting at that time that I haven't done since 8. So I just do all of my charting because I'm sitting there literally doing nothing. So I just wait and do that. The next thing we do for our babies, if the baby, if the mom doesn't have any prenatal care, she has to get, or any drug history or something like current drug history, the baby has to get drug screened, which we do a urine drug screen and a meconium drug screen, which is just poop. Basically, we attach a pee bag and a poop bag to their diaper and we send it down to the lab, and yeah. Next thing, DAT pause or Coombs pause, which is basically, I don't really know how to explain it, but basically like if mom is O positive and baby's O negative, their blood mixed and somehow they came out Coombs positive. I don't know, but usually they're more at risk for being jaundiced. So I did my first H&H, which is a hemoglobin and hematocrit, on a baby. The big thing with that is the freaking tubes clot. So you have to be, are y'all seeing my freaking gingerbread man? Anywho, you have to be careful. And usually like you have somebody run it down and then they'll let you know if it's good or bad. You have to do an H&H, make sure their blood levels aren't too low because their red blood cells get broken down faster when they're DAT positive. And then we do a bilirubin test at that time too, just to make sure that they don't need to go under lights immediately. And at birth, they get a cord bilirubin done. And if it's good enough, you just continue with your orders and do your 12-hour. I actually just had one and I had start lights on him and I felt so bad, but he was chilling. So I didn't feel that much bad after that. Okay, next thing for our mommies. So usually our vages, which is a vaginal delivery, you don't have too much to do unless you have like labs or something. C-sections are where you have the most like tasks, because C-sections have scheduled meds, which means they're scheduled, but vag deliveries, you give them meds whenever they ask for them. So it's not as like you know, like you're not really doing too much for a vag delivery until they have like morning labs or something at 5 a.m. But for a C-section, so they usually come with a Foley, but if they deliver at nighttime, usually if their output is good, you're removing that Foley at 4 or 5 in the morning, because that's when you do like your next checks, because we do 8, 12, and 4. You're removing that Foley. If they come in with a dressing or they didn't get Dermabond, you're taking off their dressing, because usually the orders are take off the dressing post-op day 1. You're giving them their scheduled meds. Usually they still have their IV in. So you're giving them their Toradol, which is what we give, and their Tylenol, or if it's scheduled or whatever. It's usually around that time. So you give it to them. And then after you take out the Foley, you're putting their underwear on and getting them up for the first time, because they can feel their legs. That's why you pulled the Foley. You're getting them up for the first time to go pee, which can sometimes be time consuming. Sometimes they don't pee the first time and it's perfectly fine, but we do want them to pee their first time, because once we pull the Foley, we only have they have 6 hours to pee. I try to not pull it after like 10, 11 o'clock, because they're sleepy and they don't want to get up to use the restroom. But some people like want it out, like take this out right now, like, or not right, you know, like not like that, but like basically they're ready to get up and walk. So I give them their cranberry apple juice. I'm like, okay, like you better drink all of this. You have an hour. And if your output is good, we'll take it out, and then you got to pee within 6 hours. I haven't had to straight cath anyone yet, but I let them know, like, it's definitely a possibility if you don't pee. That's that. It's a whole bunch with our C-section mommies, but I love them dearly. Next thing for our mommies, we are, especially our mommies that want to breastfeed, I'm about to give this gingerbread some hair, but I don't know. I'm gonna just do like some curly hair or something. We are teaching them how to breastfeed, how to hold baby when they're breastfeeding, how to change diapers, how to swaddle. Like, we're doing all the things, and I think it's super cute, especially when they're so excited that their baby is here and that they get to learn from them, or learn from me, but learn about their baby. I feel so like, oh my gosh, like this is your baby, and I'm like teaching about, I don't got kids. So I be telling them that when they ask, and they be like, really? Like, you're so good at your job. And it just makes my heart smile. But anyways, that, and sometimes you're in there legit giving a full-on breastfeeding session. They're new to this, so you're showing them they want to feed their baby. And I always tell my mommies, it is okay if you're not getting any colostrum your very first go around, but I do have them hand express, so that way they can see that baby is getting something. But I never want them to feel like they're not doing enough. So I always say, like, it is perfectly okay to supplement your baby with formula. Like, I don't care if you breastfeed, formula feed, whatever, pump, baby's fed, that's all I care about. I know some nurses are like, breastfeeding is best, and like, yes, it has its benefits, but some mommies either don't want to do it, or they're just not producing and they want their baby to eat, like, as they should. So anyways, that's that could be time consuming, especially when baby doesn't want to latch. I always tell them, like, especially if you're doing formula, only like going 3 hours and then feeding baby again. But I tell them I don't like to go past 4 hours, and 6 hours I have to check a sugar. So, and it usually is because they try to wake up baby's sleepy, they're sleepy because it's the middle of the night, and they're like, okay, well, I'll just go back to sleep and try again. But no, you can't do that, because next thing you know, those 6 hours that went by because you waited 3 hours, you went to sleep for 3 hours, and then, yeah. Anyways, that usually doesn't happen, because unless the moms are only wanting to breastfeed, and it gets a little tricky because baby can't eat 5 minutes and then you go 3 hours. We're checking on them, so like I'm looking at their feeding logs, because yes, I have them fill those out. because nobody wants to be woken up and I can just look at the freaking feeding log. I have them do that, and then when it's time for baby to eat, I'm like, okay, it's time for baby to eat, especially if it's been longer than 3 hours, but under 4, because I know that that time is coming up. So these last few weeks, I haven't been sitting down till midnight because it's been super busy, like busy. I've been having new mommies, so I've been having newborn screens at shift change and having to go over to L&D because we have babies over there, but not the moms because we don't have space. And it's just been like a whole bunch of back and forth. I've definitely been getting my freaking steps in, but you know, it's all a part of the experience. I think I'm about to, this is what we at so far. Oops. I think I'm about to add some more stuff. But yeah, so that's that, and that's the rest of my list of all of the things that I do as a mother baby nurse. And I guess this is kind of the completion of this gingerbread man thing. Let me I'll add 2 yellows. But yeah, y'all, I'm literally like still loving it, and I don't dread going into work unless I'm tired and I'm like, but then it's more so the going there than the actual being there. So like once I'm there, I'm fine, but it's the waking up and having to put on my scrubs, and I've scheduled myself for like the weekends back to back to back. Thursday off, and then I'm back Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I'm off Monday through Thursday, and then I go back Friday, Saturday. I'm off to work too, off to. So anyways, I don't know why I did that to myself, but that is the end of all the things I do as a mother baby nurse, and kind of a 6-month update, kind of. I don't think this is done. Should I add some more? But this is like how my gingerbread man looks. What do we think? We didn't get to the sweaters yet, but I'll probably do that if I'm talking in another video and I got nothing else but moving my hands. So yeah, I hope y'all found this informative. Nursing students, if you're thinking about becoming a mother baby nurse, I hope this somewhat encouraged you to do so, because it can be super fun, can be tiring, but at the same time, it's like, I like chaos, and so sometimes it's like a whole bunch, but you're running around and you're making things happen and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're on time, like, I don't know. So that is the end of this video, and it's long, but we're gonna try to get straight to the point whenever I'm editing. And I'll see y'all in the next video, which is probably gonna be a budget my Christmas check with me, because I get paid Thursday night or Friday, and that has my extra shift on it. So y'all voted that y'all would rather me budget the check than spend the check. So I'm gonna do that. And yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next Vlogmas video.